Hello and good day. I'm coming to talk to you. Oops, I got a little, fix that. I am coming to talk to you about signs and synchronicities. Sometimes we are in this place of self-doubt, worry, just kind of like fear, not feeling it. And we're looking for something that says, yes, I'm still in the right track, right? Like big transitions, thinking about, well, even small transitions, just thinking about transitions. And if you're feeling that way, then looking for signs and synchronicities can be a very comforting experience. So stick around and I'm going to tell you a little bit about an experience I had with identifying and asking for my own sign when I was in a place of deep self-doubt. So thinking about signs, and I was thinking like, oh, what's your sign? What's your sign to be able to know that you're on the right track and you're on the right path? That is always a question that can kind of stop us in our tracks. Like if we're going along and we are doing the thing and maybe it doesn't feel very good, maybe your heart's having a hard time, maybe we're going through an initiation, maybe we're shedding some shit in order to get to that next phase or that next place, it can feel pretty tough, maybe sludgy, like we're stepping, but we're like have this sticky shit on our shoe, and it's like, ugh, this is gross. Why am I here? Why am I doing this? I need validation and acknowledgement that I'm doing the right thing. Right? That's when we ask for a sign. So you have the ability to ask your higher self, your guides, your environment, whatever it may be, for a sign that you are on track. Sometimes those signs might be, you have to interpret them, like, maybe it comes through in a song lyric, maybe it comes through as numbers on the clock, maybe it's just a feeling that you get, but you can also ask for a sign that you recognize and that you know that when you see that sign, that it's like, oh, I can breathe for a minute because I know that all this stuff that's coming up and that I'm walking through, it's all for a purpose, right? That's what the signs do. That's what the synchronicities are for. So I'm going to share a little story about asking for my own sign. I was getting ready to go to my very first women's retreat. And this retreat was in Mexico, Tulum, Mexico. And I had never flown into Mexico. I had only driven there one time when I was a kid, and you didn't need a passport. I mean, not a kid, but like a teenager, like 18. And you need a passport now to get into the country. And I had this fancy little passport booklet, and I had never gotten a stamp before. And so this was a new experience. And anytime I'm in a new experience, I'm kind of angsty. I don't know what to expect. I don't know. I get myself kind of spun up. I feel anxious. I feel nervous. I feel excited. Like all of it's like going on. And this was November of 2023. So I was in the midst of working through a really major transformation. I had been diagnosed with adrenal fatigue. And so, just making a lot of life changes and trying to let them all kind of sink in. I was craving sisterhood. I was craving people. I was craving this acceptance. And I was also, with this diagnosis, was also yet another version of a dark night of the soul. So I'm walking through it, like things are falling off, shedding. And I am just in this place of, ooh, like I could really use some signs that tell me I'm in the right place, I'm at the right time, I'm with the right people. And it was in November, so I had my Christmas tree up and all my Christmas things were out. And I just remember sitting on the couch looking at my tree because I love my tree. It's beautiful, it's whimsical, it's hilarious. And I was just looking at the lights on the tree and I was just kind of feeling into, okay, we're going into this trip. I hadn't really been traveling a huge amount. This was the biggest trip I had had in, I don't know, years. I was going by myself and I just wanted to breathe and find a sense of peace. And I asked my guides in that moment, what is my sign? What sign can I look for to let me know that I am here in the right place, doing the right thing, connected with the big universe? Like universe, what's my sign? And I look over and this little guy catches my eye. Let me put his hair down. Let's put his hair down, all the way down. This little guy right here catches my eye. And I was like, really? This little ornament is a hermit crab. It's a hermit crab. He's got a shell. He's, hanging out in his shell. And I thought, really? Like, that's my sign? And I heard this, yep, that's your sign. Look for that on this trip. So I went with this renewed sense of, okay, we're playing with this one because that's kind of a crazy sign. I don't know where I'm going to see hermit crabs. Like, where am I really going to see hermit crabs? I'm in Mexico, heading to Tulum. So I just file it away. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to look for hermit crabs and we'll see what comes through. And I remember that there was a point at which I saw, I think it was a truck, like the side of a truck. So it feels like a billboard, right? The side of these big box trucks. And I remember seeing a picture, an image, just a flat logo of a hermit crab. And I just kind of started chuckling. And I was like, okay, all right, here's the sign. So the next thing when you're asking for these signs is to be open to receiving however that sign is going to come in. And in this instance, I had no idea how I was going to see a sign, but I had to just remain open. And I saw a first sign on a truck. Okay. So I just kept staying open to the signs. Like I knew that I needed to keep looking for hermit crabs or be open to hermit crabs or to receive the energy and the message from the hermit crab. So as I stepped on the plane and got to my destination, I met up with a girlfriend. I was in a new country, got my first stamp, and off we go, right? So we're there a day early. This woman is also part of the retreat, and I had never met her before. I was a complete stranger to all these people. We had just seen each other virtually online, and we had known that we were all coming together for this retreat. So then I had to just trust, right? That's another piece, trust in the synchronicity of seeing the sign. Whew. Okay, I'm in this new world, literally a new world on the Mayan Riviera. I had never been there before. And I remember waking up the next morning. It was still dark out. It was a 3-hour time change, and I woke up before sunrise. And I just went out to the beach because we were staying at a hotel that was right next to the beach. And I just felt called to go out to the beach and to sit on the beach, to just really soak in the energy of the space and the place and watch the sunrise. And so I did that. And so I trusted in that. And then I got up as the sun was shining on the beach and it was warming up, and I just felt this urge to walk along the beach. And so I did. I walked along the beach, and then I looked down and I noticed that there were shells moving, like they were vibrating, they were moving. And I had to bend down and get a closer look. And you know what I saw? Real, live hermit crabs. I noticed one, and then I just stood there and I just observed. I slowed down to receive it. And that's when I started to see another one, and another one, and another one. And I think there was a total of 5 hermit crabs in this little area on the beach, walking around, doing their thing. And I just started laughing, because I knew that this little guy was the opening to the joy of seeing hermit crabs. And that wasn't it. That wasn't the only time that I saw hermit crabs. I just had to start writing it down, paying attention, and seeing the sign. Because then when I actually got to the retreat, we were in a villa that was on the beach. And you know what happened? We were sitting in the actual, it's like a patio, right? You go through the villa onto the patio where there's a pool. And then there's a beach just past that. And there were hermit crabs that were showing up next to the structure of the villa, next to the house, way far away from the beach. And there were multiple. Every single day I was there, I saw hermit crabs. We even saved one from the pool because it was teetering on the actual ledge of the pool. And one of the employees, the concierge, actually walked over and picked it up and saved it, took it back to the beach. So there were hermit crabs every single day of this trip. And it just brought me such joy and such laughter to slow down, to receive that I was there, to receive the beautiful gifts and synchronicities of just being present in this space. So oftentimes we're looking for validation and acknowledgement of where we're at and what we're doing. It can feel super big and super overwhelming, and it can be more than our bodies and nervous systems can withstand sometimes. And so having the sign that says you're in the right place at the right time, breathe, trust, slow down, have faith, is really powerful. And the last thing that I would recommend that you do when it comes to asking for signs, when you see them and notice them, is to document them, either in your phone or in a journal if you have a notebook that you carry around, or at the end of the day, if you reflect on your day in some way, note it, write it down. I saw the sign today and I was doing whatever you were doing, to where you could take note that there is intuition at play, that there are things that are unseen that are helping orchestrate our experience, to let you know that you're not alone. You're not alone. And that you are being supported in whatever means, in the signs that you're asking for to support you. So when I actually came home from that trip, I just felt like, oh, maybe I'm actually a hermit crab. I've been hermiting in my home, and they're kind of really sketchy and scared. And when you pick them up, they ball up and they sink back into their shell, and it's like they need to be coaxed out. They need to know that it's safe to come out. And I just felt like I was a hermit crab at that stage in my life. And then there was this really wonderful experience being back home, being drawn out. I live in the Pacific Northwest, and so I do have some beaches that are close by. I live on a Kitsap Peninsula, actually. And there was a part of an area where I had not really spent a lot of time before, and I was exploring this new place. And I was on the beach, and I just felt this calm, and I looked down. And in the water, just in the water, I saw little teeny tiny hermit crabs. So it was just another validation and another place where I had no idea they even existed, and there they were. So other ways that you might see your sign: you might see it on a YouTube video, you might hear it in a song, you might see it on a billboard, you might see it on a truck driving by, you might see it as a sign up on, somebody's building or business. It might even be a label on the chocolate chips. I buy the Enjoy Life chocolate chips, more so because of the brand Enjoy Life. Like, there's a message there, right? So look around and be open to receive the signs and the synchronicities that are there for you, letting you know that you are right on track. Always right on track. Thank you for your time. Have a beautiful day. I love you. And until next time.